Well, that's pretty positive, isn't it? I can truthfully tell you that not ever in my whole life have I undertaken to do anything that I didn't do it unless I got careless in my desire to do it. Backed away from it or changed my mind or my mental attitude. I have never failed to do anything that I made up my mind to do, and I'll tell you that you can put yourself in a frame of mind where you can do whatever you make up your mind to do unless you weaken as you go along. So many people do. Well, let's get back to this fourth phrase again. Any dominating desire, plan, or purpose which is backed by that state of mind known as faith is taken over to the subconscious section of the mind and acted upon immediately. I don't know for sure, ladies and gentlemen, but I suspect that there's a relatively small number of people in the world at any one time who understand the principle of faith. Really understand it and know how to apply it. And even if you do understand it, if you don't back it up with action and make it a part of your habit life, you might just as well not understand. Because faith without deeds is dead. Faith without action is dead. Faith without absolute positive belief is dead. I don't know how you're going to get any results through believing unless you put some action back in that belief. And incidentally, if you tell your mind often enough that you have faith in anything, time will come when your subconscious mind will accept that. Even if you tell your mind often enough that you have faith in yourself. Have you ever thought what a nice thing it would be if you had such complete faith in yourself that you wouldn't hesitate to undertake anything you want to do in life? Have you ever thought what a benefit that would be to you? Do you know how many people there are that sell themselves short all the way through life because they don't have the right amount of confidence, let alone faith? Yes, this is the percentage. Well, it's somewhere between 98 and 100. The margin who do is so small that I wouldn't begin to guess just exactly what it is. Judging by the many thousands of people I've come into contact with, and you know what am I telling you, that my audiences, my classes are always above average. Judging by those people, I would say that it's well over 98% of the people who never in our whole lives develop a sufficient amount of confidence in themselves to go out and undertake and to do the things they want to do in life. They accept from life whatever life hands them. Isn't it a strange thing how nature works? She gives you a set of tools. Everything that you need to attain all that you can use or have in this world. She gives you a set of tools, adequate for every need. And she rewards you bountifully for accepting and using those tools. That's all you have to do, just accept them and use them. She penalizes you beyond compare if you don't accept them and use them. Nature hates vacuums and items. She wants everything to be in action. And especially though she wants the human mind.
Good morning, guys.
Mind is not
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hang on, let me turn off here. So far, we've got Amy and Brianna on. Amy, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Good morning.
How we doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. How was your July 4th?
Kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing at all.
Not a bad thing at all. All right, well, we've got some more people joining in. Good morning, Brianna. I'm gonna just get rolling here. Oh, we got Brew coming in. Bree, wow. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, hope everybody's doing great. I'm gonna get rolling today. I don't know how many we're gonna have on. I know we've got a few right now. We have some few others jumping in. But really today, I want to really kind of jump into a lot on mindset. So I've been reading a book lately, and I just shared my screen here. And you know my adoration of Napoleon Hill. We're really going to jump into this kind of a little bit of a deeper dive today. And I'm reading a book recently on building teams and building sales teams, and I thought it was really interesting. It was really talking about vital activities that that people need to do, right, to be successful. And there were really two things that stuck out. And one of them was mindset. And this was like from a top expert, author, leader of large sales teams, large companies. One was, again, just the importance of mindset. And then two is the importance of that prospecting and marketing, right? So if we say, what are two of the most important things that you can focus on and encourage your team to focus on? Those are two big ones, right? Mindset and marketing. Frankly, if you've got a poor mindset, and you know Zig Ziglar talks about the stinking thinking, you can have good marketing, but it's not going to go as far or not be nearly as successful. On the flip side, I would say you can have a great mindset, but if you don't put any action to it, if you don't take any steps towards it, obviously we're not getting anywhere, right? So those two things, and as I really think about the success we've had at Strategic and my desire for the team to continue to grow, I think those are two things you're going to kind of hear me talk even more about, right? So when I sent that text out this morning and I talked about DMP, anybody on the call know what DMP stands for?
I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't.
Good. Well, I mean, part of it, I'm trying to, you know, pique curiosity for people coming on. I know it's the summertime, and we've seen a little bit of a dip in our attendance on the meeting, but so DMP stands for definite major purpose. Okay, and that was a concept first established by Napoleon Hill. So we talk about definite major purpose, and we're going to unpack that a little bit today. But I'm just curious, like, when you first hear that, what comes to your mind if I say definite major purpose? Like, what does that make you think about?
What you're focused on.
Okay, what you're focused on. And Amy, I think you're a great example of this overall. Anybody else? How about Brianna? Thoughts?
I guess I'm getting the vibes of, you know, what you're meant for, what you're meant to do.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so there's perhaps a thought of something, dare I say, bigger than yourself at some level?
Yes.
Okay, Brewa,
Yeah.
I know you're on. I don't know if you're just listening or you can communicate, but any thoughts on this? Definite major purpose? What is it kind of, just before we even dive in, what does it make you think about?
What does what make me think about exactly?
Definite major purpose. So if we kind of throw that statement out with even not a lot of explanation, what just comes to mind?
Definite major purpose. Yeah, that's not something I've heard of before. I don't know.
Well, it's a good thing you're on the call then, right? Go ahead.
I suppose so.
There you go. So, you know, we did some of this with you guys in onboarding training when we talked about SMART goals and kind of that idea of that. But I'm going to give it to you right as Napoleon Hill defines it. So I'm going to pull this over here. So the definite major purpose is going to be a specific statement which has the power to influence your subconscious mind. Okay, so let's think about that for a second. Specific statement that has the power to influence your subconscious mind. And then he goes on, he says, your burning desire will force you into taking daily actions to move towards attaining your goal, right? So again, some of this stuff, guys, can sound very hocus pocus. And I think I've shared my own journey on all of this and sort of professional development and, you know, mindset and all this is, you know, and I'm not too naive to know that those that may be listening to Call on Demand, or even, you know, the few of you that we've got on right now, you may be kind of like, yeah, whatever. Okay, great. You know, what's in it? You know, really, what's this about? Is this, you know, is there anything to this? Is this just a bunch of, like I said, hocus pocus? So, you know, the concept that Napoleon Hill took from this is certainly one that goes back, you know, generations. And it has been certainly also brought back to life in the last decade with the book and the movie The Secret, right? So there's a very famous book and movie that's more recent called The Secret. And again, kind of talks on some of these same ideas. Here's what's cool. And again, you guys know I'm a big fan of quotes and sayings and kind of word pictures just to help me in my own life navigate and be focused and kind of understand things. Zig Ziglar's got a great line where he says, I don't need to know how electricity works. I just want to know when I flip the switch, the lights come on. Okay? So there are things that we don't fully understand. Okay? Period. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't fully understand. But I do every day. I use every day. I use my car every day. I can't explain exactly how my car works. I can't explain how Wi-Fi works, electricity, etc. So here's where I would go with it. I would encourage you all, if you have not done this as an exercise, and I'm always encouraging you guys to take action after our meetings, right? One of the things every meeting we try to end is we say, take massive action. You know, do something with what you heard. Hopefully this is not just, you know, me sharing with you for 45 minutes to an hour, but something that's going to be not just information, but transformation, that you say, okay, I spent some time with Doug this morning. I learned something. I'm now going to put into practice and it's going to benefit me. And oh, by the way, it's going to help me make more money. Everything I'm doing here and all of our training and all of our, you know, mindset, there's a purpose behind all of it. And that's to help you guys achieve more. So again, what I would say is if you are someone who is skeptical on this stuff, right? And you're just like, yeah, whatever. Again, it doesn't, you know, it just sounds like a bunch of magic, bunch of hocus pocus, but really, is it going to work? I would encourage you just to try it, suspend your own disbelief for a second. And again, remind yourself you do things every day that you don't fully understand, right? Electricity, your car, Wi-Fi. I mean, lots of things that we interact with every day that if I said, hey, fully explain how electricity works, fully explain how your car and every part in it, fully explain how your Wi-Fi works, and on and on and on, you know, you're probably going to come up a little bit short. But there is this thought and this idea and this really fact that when you start feeding your mind this information, it's traditionally positive information, and it's a specific statement that has the power to influence, your subconscious mind goes to work. And again, our subconscious mind, the greatest minds in the world don't fully understand, the greatest scientists, experts, psychologists, psychiatrists, neuroscientists, on and on and on, you know, don't fully understand. Okay, but we know there's very power in your subconscious mind. And that's part of the idea behind it. And so it's a specific statement, has the power to influence your subconscious mind. Your burning desire will in turn force you to take daily actions that move you in towards attaining that goal, right? So it's that idea that you're going to start to create your own self-fulfilling prophecy. And the reverse of this is also very true, guys. And again, this is the challenge that we all face. Frankly, it's a lot easier to go towards the negative than the positive. It's easy for all of us to fall into, this isn't working, I'm not making it, I'm not going to be able to make enough money, life stinks, I lost my job, I lost my girlfriend, I lost my car, I lost my whatever. We can all catastrophize, period. Okay, that's just kind of the world we live in, which again is why this importance of mindset is so big. I want to share with you guys a story about me right now, though. And really, it's very interesting as I even think through this, and as I was kind of preparing for this morning and just praying, okay, Lord, like, help me to really get this across clearly to you guys. Help me to make it an impact for you and for those that are going to listen to it on demand. I was thinking about my own self with this and kind of this idea. And so I put something pretty big out there. Now, some of you have seen this in the past. I know Amy has at a sales team meeting in the past, but I don't think the rest of you had. And I wanted to share this with you today. So, and here's what I did with my definite major purpose, okay? And about, let's see, about 3 years ago, I wrote this, okay? And you can see I save it. I've got it right here. And so I wrote this on 4/12/2017, that within 5 years, my income will be this or more. And I wrote a check for $400,000. And I post dated it or future dated it 4/12/2022. 5 years, okay? So that's a very practical example. And that's really where I started using the dream big and make it happen, by the way, okay? That statement you guys hear me say a lot. This is a very practical example of that definite major purpose, right? So back in April of 2017, I got really clear and said, I want to make $400,000 or more within the next 5 years, okay? Here's what's very interesting, and I don't think I've really shared this before. Again, Amy knows this because she's been with me some time. The rest of you on the call may or may not know this. I had a business partner for about 10 years, okay? A great guy, by the way. Really super guy. We're still friends. We went through some challenging times, but we've really reconnected. His name's Mike. And I kind of had this idea 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, I'm sorry. I wrote this check, and I encouraged him to write a check too, to kind of do the same thing. He didn't, right? For whatever reason, he just didn't. Oh yeah, it's kind of neat, Doug, whatever, great, you know, blah, blah. He didn't. Well, shortly after I wrote this and really started thinking about it, our relationship, the partnership, took a turn, not for the better, for the worse. And frankly, I think some of it was because I was more motivated than ever before, because this was my definite major purpose, and because I wanted to continue to grow, to continue to do and seek more. And again, you'll never hear me say anything bad about Mike. Nice guy, great guy, but his desire wasn't the same. Okay, his major burning desire was not the same. And that caused a rift in the relationship, and ultimately paved the path for me to buy the business. So before I had a business partner that owned 50% of the business. So kind of heading down this path, I ultimately buy the business that I now own 100%. Okay, there's no other partner, it's just me. And since that time, my income in this agency has grown over 30%, more than we've ever grown before. So again, now some of you may, again, be listening, nice story, Doug, whatever, yeah, coincidence or timing or whatever. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm pretty confident that had I not been so clear on this and written this and put it out there, and that at some level my subconscious mind started working towards thinking about, well, what's it going to take to get there, that it ultimately led to the purchase of the business, Mike exiting, and me allowing to be more entrepreneurial, which, oh, by the way, he did not like this idea of this side hustle at all. It was not something he wanted to do or pursue. So frankly, all of you that are either listening to this on this call right now, we wouldn't be here. You would not even have the opportunity to do what you're doing with me right now had I not put this out there 3 years ago, ultimately went through the process of buying out my business partner because he was not interested in it. You follow me? So, you know, again, I always think stories are powerful. I would encourage you guys very much to get really clear on your definite major purpose. And there's no doubt, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. And those that you know me well is, you know, money is not the most important thing in my life, but it's very important. Right? Those who say that money is not important, you know, try to live a day or a week without it, okay? There's nothing wrong with putting your definite major purpose out there as an income statement. As my goal is within the next, fill in the blanks. It could be, you know, you could say, I want to within the next month earn X, next 6 months earn X, or put something out there for the next year, or like I did, put something out there for the next 5 years. Okay. And then part of it becomes, and you can see, guys, again, this sits in the clear sleeve in my drawer. You've heard me talk about this in our onboarding meeting, right, with my SMART goals. So here's my SMART goals that I have in my own drawer. I'm kind of, again, This is a chef that eats his own food. This is not me saying, oh, this is good for you, but not for me. Sits in my drawer that I look at almost every day. And I can look at very, very quickly, and then take me a ton of time, but I can look at and think about that. So going a little bit deeper with this, guys, the attributes to your major purpose. And this came from Brian Tracy. So Brian Tracy, again, another great thought leader, great leadership guy, great sales guy as well. And he talks about, well, what are the attributes of your definite major purpose? In other words, and it's a fair point. Some of you may say, I don't know what my definite major purpose is, Doug. I don't know. Fair point. You know, and again, I would encourage you, you know, how much time have you ever spent thinking about it, right? How much time have you really ever spent and said, what do I really, really want? What do I want to do? What do I want to achieve, right? And again, like I said, there is nothing wrong making it an economic, a monetary one. I would also encourage you that there's always normally something deeper outside of just the money, right? And what's cool is it's for you. You know, your definite major purpose may not be mine. In fact, it very likely won't be, or won't be exactly alike. But if we start to think through and say, well, what are the attributes of it? What is it that this is going to look like? How do I sort of frame this? This is what Brian helps break down for us, right? So he says, it's going to be something that you personally really want, right? Your desire for this goal must be so intense that the idea of achieving your major definite purpose excites you and makes you happy. Now, the thought of me making $400,000 plus a year makes me happy. There's no doubt. Now, why does it make me happy? Well, frankly, it allows me to think about the things I can do for my family. It helps me think about the things that I can do for the community, for this team, for a lot of other things than just me. Now, don't doubt, you know, there's a few items on that checklist, if you will, like a new Corvette for Doug someday. That's definitely for Doug, okay? But it is also more than just myself. And I bet if I spent some time and talked with each one of you, and we did determine some level of definite major purpose, and we turned it into a monetary purpose, okay, it's probably not going to be just you. It may be your family. It may be your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, brother, sister, you know, son, daughter, etc. Oftentimes that's what happens, right? But the idea is that it's got to line up with a desire you have in your heart. And hear me, guys, if that's not a desire in your heart, you're probably at some level in the wrong business, period, okay? Even if you're just doing this part-time, because there's no doubt this is an industry where you can truly go from the poorhouse to the penthouse. You know, sky's the limit, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I had a mentor one time tell me, and I've shared this with the team quite a bit, you know, this is an industry where you can give yourself a raise every day. There's not a lot of industries that can say that. Frankly, most can't. Okay, so that's a good thing. In terms of digging a little deeper from that too, it's got to be clear and specific, right? You know, Brian says here, you must be able to define it in words. You must be able to write it down with such clarity a child could read it and know exactly what it is you want and be able to determine whether you've achieved it or not, right? So again, this is where we start. And if you look here, he's really starting to weave in some of the SMART goals that we've talked about, that we talked so extensively in our onboarding about. If you think about it again, there's probably a very, very close tie or relationship between my definite major purpose and my goals, right? And if we look at, you know, how did I start this meeting? And I was sharing with you that I'm reading a book right now called System Scale. I'm actually having Brianna read it as well. Because again, it has to do with a lot of team building and onboarding and really helping people achieve sales goals. You know, two of the things that this author of the book we're talking about were mindset and marketing, right? If we look at what does it take to become successful in life and a lot of things, but specifically in sales, it's that mindset and marketing, right? So when we kind of go from there, we then talk about measurable and quantifiable, okay? And again, Brian puts here, rather than saying, I want to make a lot of money, it must be more like I will earn a specific amount by a specific date, okay? That's very big. That's powerful. Again, we've talked when we did the onboarding training with you guys, and we kind of talked through SMART goals, kind of the classic one that you hear around the beginning of the year. I want to lose weight. right? You've probably heard that before. Maybe you've said that yourself. That really wouldn't fit in the context of what we're talking about. It's too general. It's got to be more specific. And frankly, again, part of the power with this whole idea of the subconscious mind, and your brain starts working on things like a heat-seeking missile, whether you realize it or not, is the idea that it becomes more specific, okay? And then we talk about believable and achievable. It says your major definite purpose cannot be so big or ridiculous that it's completely unattainable. Now, if I had put out there when I did my little deal and I wrote my check 3 years ago, and I said, I want to make $40 billion with a B in 5 years, that's probably not realistic or achievable, right? And right away, what you would do is you would set yourself up, frankly, for what I would say a false start. Because this is where you have to get real honest with yourself. And we all know that the only person you never get away from is you. We all have our own thoughts, and you're going to be the one to know, hey, does this make sense? Is this believable and achievable, or is this just ridiculous? Now, I very much believe in like the idea of a stretch, what we would say a stretch goal, but you have to determine what that is. Okay. So I would say, I would really encourage you guys. And again, I'll even throw it out here. I'll tell you this. I'll say you get back to me by the end of tomorrow, a definite major purpose that makes sense, clear, concise. And then we're also going to talk in a second here, has some action steps behind it. And I'd want to see at least 5 action steps behind it. We'll do a gift card for you. $25 gift card on me, Amazon, whatever. We have Rewards Genius that has all kinds of other stuff. Just a little way to have a little fun, you know, a little incentive. I love giving people incentives in a way to kind of motivate. And if you don't do it, that's fine. You don't have to. But we'll say by the end of tomorrow, definite major purpose, and then 5 action steps. And then here's where this comes. So this is now where we get to the idea of, okay, great. I want to make, you know, 100,000, 200,000, 400,000, 50,000, whatever your number is, assuming you're doing some level of a number in your major purpose. Now, and this is really where I hope, and in a good way, I'm going to dig a little deeper and hit home and hopefully make some of you uncomfortable. And I mean that. I mean that in love, okay? Consider me your coach, your trainer, your friend, but in love, saying, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing each day, or whatever time you're spending on this? Again, I'm well aware that, you know, there's a lot of you that this is not your full-time gig. You're not doing this 40 hours a week. There's some of you that are. Clearly there are. But whatever amount of time you're spending on it, what are you doing? You know, what activities can you point to and say at the end of that day, I did X, taking me closer to my definite major purpose? And guys, hear me. I'm in this with you. I fall short of this at times, okay? I'm the teacher, leader, trainer, coach, motivator, etc. I fall short of this. You know, there's times at the end of the day, you're like, what the heck happened? What did I do? Where did I spend my time? I know I was working. I know I was kind of working hard, but was I working smart? Did I have that focus? Was I taking the steps and the actions that I needed to get where I wanted to go? Or did I say, I need to do my continuing education in the next 3 months. I'm going to do my continuing education today. Or I need to update my bank account, or whatever it is, okay? And again, I'm not saying that those things aren't things that ultimately need to be done. But if you're honest with yourself, you know this as well. Anyone that's been in sales at any level, any amount of time, there are specific things that you can do that are going to take you in a direction to help you earn more money and help you make more sales. And it's frankly a small amount. It's a small window, right? But here's, and again, one of my favorite saying is little hinges swing big doors. Think about that. Little hinges swing big doors. And what that means is it's those little specific actions that start heading you in the direction and helping you earn more, right? Now, those little actions, if you will, don't necessarily mean they're easy. But I would just get real clear and real honest with yourself and say, am I doing what I need to do to make the money I want? And if you're not making the money you want right now with me, you got to be honest with yourself and say, am I doing what I need to do to be successful? Have I done my memory jogger? Have I gone back and listened to my onboarding meeting? Have I really written out a marketing action plan that Doug talks about? Have I gone through the fast start action plan and picked, let's say, 5 to 7 things that I want to do and do consistently to try and create my pipeline, which I know is my lifeline, which is going to lead to my money line, right? So again, that's where I'm just going to really encourage you. You guys got to get honest with yourself because, you know, again, I love all of you and I want all of you to be with me, and, you know, you can be with me whether you produce or not, so long as you pay your monthly software and support fee. But my goal is for you to all make money and do well. That's the goal, okay? So I would really encourage at least those 5 action steps, right? Where you get really clear and say, these are the things I'm going to do, and I'm going to do each day to start heading in the direction that's going to earn me the income that I want to get out of this opportunity. And again, that maybe you're doing this, you know, you're part-time and you're doing this 10 to 20 hours a week, and you say, you know what? My life would look great and a lot different if I had an extra $500 to $1,000 a month in my pocket for my family. Some of you may say that needs to be $5,000 a month, Doug. Awesome. Love it. And there are people that are doing that, by the way. Okay. And more. So you've got to get clear on that. And then you've got to get clear and say, well, what am I willing to do to get there? So Brew, I just had to step out, but he said terrific concept, really enjoyed, and he's going to catch up soon. So thanks, Brew, for that. So I really encourage that. Now on to this, guys. This is a great way also to kind of frame this, and then we're going to dump more into sales and marketing, and not as much the insurance how-to. And frankly, as I continue to grow this meeting, I would love feedback from you on what you would want to see. What do you think would be helpful for you? Okay. You know, I feel though, and I haven't really said it, and we didn't even kind of go into all of our pre-stuff and sales contests and toolbox and on and on and on. I just wanted to jump into it today. But one of the things I was thinking about is we have Leanne doing trainings every Thursday at 2 o'clock on the real technical how to do proposals, right? I see this meeting more hopefully being, again, stuff like this, like mindset, motivation, and marketing, okay? And maybe that's even what I'll rebrand it to, frankly. And that's not to say that we won't do still some of the role playing and some of the, okay, we walk you through proposals and all that. But frankly, where I believe I can add more value to you guys is in these areas. We've got plenty of other people on this team that can help you with, hey, how do I run a homeowner? How do I run an auto proposal? What I want to do is try and challenge you and help you and encourage you to get the leads, to get to the proposals. Because frankly, if I look at the two, the way harder part is to get the leads, right? In any business, the hardest thing that you can do is generate leads, period. That is by far the hardest thing you can do. And that's why I spend so much time on this. So, but here's what I want to, as we kind of segue here a little bit. I love this question that Brian Tracy has, and I've never really heard anyone else put it like he's got. So he says, here's the key question for determining your definite major purpose. So what one great thing would you dare to dream if you knew you could not fail? Think about that for a second. And again, if you say, Doug, I don't know what to put as my definite major purpose, I think that's the pre-question to the definite major purpose, is just that right there. What one great thing would you dare to dream if you knew you could not fail? Because frankly, a lot of people are scared to start because they're scared to fail. I'm very close, by the way, to starting another business. Very close. I'm not going to talk a ton about it, but I'm very entrepreneurial. I'm working on starting another business. Okay. And if I'm honest, I'm a little scared to fail. Okay. So I said it. Okay. But here's what I know. The people that are truly successful in life and the great entrepreneurs often fail, but they get back up and they keep going. Okay. We've talked about some of this stuff before. So if you kind of take the air out of the balloon and you say, well, what's the one great thing that you would dare to dream if you knew you could not fail? In other words, you knew you were guaranteed 100% bank it that you're going to succeed. What would that look like? That's a great place to sort of backfill and then say, okay, what does my definite major purpose look like? And again, guys, here's what I would encourage you. This is not stuff that's just going to come like that. You know, I would encourage you, and even, you know, we'll make sure we save this, probably upload it to YouTube and on, is listen to this again. Go back and look at this again. And again, oh, by the way, because I was doing this morning, preparing for the meeting myself, guess what I was listening to? I went to YouTube and typed in definite merger purpose statement examples, and I'm listening to Napoleon Hill on that. Okay, and by the way, I'll make sure to put some of that in the notes here. But this is something, again, you're going to want to spend a little thought time on. You're going to want to let it ruminate a little bit. It's not just, you know, it's not just going to be, oh, okay, well, I'm going to sit down and 2 minutes later, I'm going to have it. Okay. If you're doing it and doing it well and doing it right and really putting some emphasis behind it, it's going to be something that you need to, what we would say, you need to chew on a little bit. You need to let it stir up a little bit. You really need to kind of go back to, and oh, by the way, realize that what you put out right now may look different a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, and that's okay, right? It's the journey. It's the process. You know, I love, again, Jim Rohn talks about this. He says, if all the money in the world was distributed equally between everybody, okay, so everybody gets the same amount of money, you know, within a short amount of time, that money would ultimately go back to its original hands, with this idea of the people that have become and achieved have the skill sets, the training, the knowledge, the confidence to do it again, right? So allow it to stir in you a little bit. Allow it to really say, what does it really look like? Listen to this again, listen to some things online, and then put that out there. And again, what Brian says is, if you could absolutely be guaranteed of successfully achieving any goal, large or small, short-term or long-term, what would that goal be? Whatever your answer is, write it down, okay? And then from that point on, the only question should be how. And the only real limit is how badly you want it and how long you're willing to work toward it. Again, I'm going to brag on Amy Young right now. Amy Young has been with me over 5 years. She came here as a second career. She had background in mortgages and in car rental and a few other things in sales, and started scratch, you know, a little bit later in life. And man, she has just stuck with it, worked, had a positive mindset, been encouraged through ups, downs, and all arounds, and is doing, in my mind, fantastic. And, you know, has the time freedom, the flexibility, the on and on and on and on, okay? And still has a very bright and promising future of upward trajectory. So again, you know, it would be put this out there, and then you starting to ask your mind how. Okay, how am I going to get this? Like, to this day, I need to be saying, okay, Doug, how am I getting to that number? And by the way, I'm not quite there, but I'm close. And I don't doubt in any way, stretch of the imagination, that had I not put it out there 3 years ago and written it down and put it in my drawer and looked at it and talked about it and done trainings on it, that I would be close to achieving it. Okay? Think about that. That can be you. There is no doubt about it. I'm no better, guys. I'm really not. I'm no, you know, whatever you all think about me, you know, I'm just a guy from the suburbs of Philadelphia, right? So you know, frankly, it's not just talent that makes people successful, which is a nice thing in a way. It's all the other things. It's the grit, it's the determination, it's the persistence, it's the mindset, it's the putting in the hours. You know, I was here while everybody was off on July 4th, or the Friday for July 4th, working and doing things and thinking about marketing and on and on and on. So think about that. Start asking yourself how, okay? And then we'll jump in here. And again, you know, I've encouraged you guys, Get Clients Now, Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount. Again, we talk a lot, you know, pipeline is your lifeline. So, you know, every meeting I really try and go through some marketing examples and then saying, okay, you know, here's a handful of things that you guys can be doing that are going to help you fill your pipeline, right? And again, if we go back to and we say your pipeline is your lifeline, we then have to say, well, okay, Doug, how am I going to fill my pipeline? What does that look like? Well, great question. And again, like a lot of things, guys, there's, you know, there's lots of ways to do this. You know, I have friends that are very successful in this industry, and they have never done a day of networking in their life. And they will tell you they hang out on Facebook and do Facebook ads and Google ads, and that's how they do it. okay? I have other people that, you know, say, I don't want to spend a nickel there. It's not worth it. It's too expensive. It doesn't work as much. You know, I'm going to work with centers of influence. There's all sorts of ways, right? There are people who have built businesses by direct mail. There are people that have built businesses by cold calling. Again, I ran through some numbers with Mark a few weeks ago when we were looking at, if you really want to do a heavy amount of cold calling and make 100 contacts or dials a day, frankly, the numbers are there to make you a very significant income. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that it's easy necessarily or fun to make 100 contacts a day. But I'm sure you have all heard the example or seen the movie, you know, Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness, or heard the story of somebody starting out and doing 100 to 200 dials a day, and then a year, 2, 5, 10, whatever it is later, they're millionaires, right? That still is out there. And again, I'm not telling you, oh, go make 100 cold calls a day, but I'm saying it's one of the things you could do. Okay, and maybe you don't want to do 100, but maybe you do 20, maybe you do 10, but do something, right? Don't just expect this stuff to fall out of the air, because it's not. Again, we're in a great industry, guys, where everybody needs it, already budgeting for it, on and on and on. You've got all the tools here. You've got the systems, you've got the support, you've got the training, you've got the software, you've got the markets. You've got what I would say the soil is fertile, right? It's all the right ingredients for success. And we're seeing that. Again, there are several. We've got 4 people right now on track for a summer sale contest to go to Opal Sands or the Ritz. That's awesome. I love that. And I'd love to see, you know, more. Okay. But you've got all the ingredients there. But then you've got to say, okay, well, what am I putting in? What am I doing to get there? And oh, by the way, guys, here's what's also cool. You need to think like an entrepreneur. This is your business within our business. Okay. We're a team. You don't work just for me. Okay, we're a team. You can think of other things. You can do other things. I'm results oriented. Frankly, as long as it's legal and ethical, if it works, great. I don't care. And frankly, tell me. If it's not one of these ideas, great. Share it with me so I can share it with others. Okay. But again, be honest with yourself and go back and say, have I gone through that fast start action plan? How many things have I done, and how many activities have I done per day, per week, per month? And if I don't have the leads that I want, can I really be honest with myself and Doug and say, yeah, I've done, you know, 100, 200, 500, whatever, contacts, connections, attempts, tries, whatever you want to say. Elbow grease is what I would say, guys, to get where you want to go. Okay, so again, would really encourage you to go back to this. This is on our Facebook group. You can pull it right off of there. If you go into our Facebook group, you go up to the documents. This has been saved in there. Okay. But when we talked about from that, we've been pulling some things off. We've talked about direct mail. Again, direct mail can be a great way. I just wrote a client the other day. He came in here and we saved him $4,000 a year. I wrote a $6,000 policy for a restaurant, and he got one of my direct mail postcards. Okay, still works. Okay. We talk about marketing scripts. We've sent you guys marketing scripts. Again, we've uploaded marketing scripts are on our Facebook group. If you look in that Facebook group, you're going to see marketing scripts is saying, well, what do I say? How do I say it? It's on there. You just need to search for it. One of the big things that I would really encourage you guys to focus on today is this professional sellers program. And guys, we've talked about this a little bit before, but I really think this is an area, if I'm you, I would spend some time on. And oh, by the way, I'm spending time on this. And I've probably got 2 or 3 people that are in the process of coming on right now. If you go to our website and it's under careers, it says professional sellers program, and it pretty much lays it out right there for you. Okay. And I mean, I don't think you get much easier than this in terms of pushing this out. So what's the idea behind this? Well, this is the idea that people that are centers of influence, it could be realtor, mortgage, financial advisor, bookkeeper, CPA, attorney. We just had a lady in here this morning that one of our other team members introduced me to, who's in the title business and real estate business, and is like, I would love to do this. I have so many people asking me for insurance. Please show me how I can get licensed so I can get referral commission. Great. Awesome. And basically what we do is we say, look, you got to get licensed to get a referral fee. I can't legally pay people referrals without that. And oh, by the way, and I make it very clear, it's right here at the bottom of the page, the referral, the commissions on this one will come out of yours. So whatever your commission new business is, if you have people on this, you got a minus 15% new and 7% renewal. You say, well, wait a minute, Doug, that's not fair. How can you do that? Well, you know what? Life's not always fair. But here's what I'll tell you. I am all about trying to be generous as possible, but it's got to be win-win. Okay, it's got to make sense. I can't pay them your new business and then pay them this and then manage the service team and on and on and on. But here's what I'll tell you, in my opinion, and I'm doing it right now myself. You are going to create longer lasting, deeper relationships because now you're offering them something of economic value. And it's not just a gift card, and it's not just, hey, I'll take you to lunch, and it's not just, hey, be my buddy. And it's not just, hey, I'm really good. I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to screw up your referrals. I'm going to get them a really good deal on the insurance. And guess what? I know a lot of you out there get a lot of referrals already just because of the things we said. Hey, I'm good at what I do. I'm not going to screw it up. Yeah, I'll take you to lunch. I'll give you a gift card, blah, blah, blah. But here's what I will tell you. In my opinion, you are going to create longer term relationships and open up the door to new relationships because now there's some economic incentive. Now interests are aligned. So even if you say, well, I've got to take a little bit out of my commission to offer this as an incentive, in my opinion, you're going to make more in the long run because you're going to create more consistent lead sources. And oh, by the way, think about this. What if you yourself had on your team, and we'll call it a team, and again, the idea is if you bring someone into the professional sellers program, well, you're aligned with them, right? It doesn't mean that if Amy brings somebody in and she brings Tracy Mayo in or some other contact or whatever, well, you're aligned with that person. Doesn't mean it becomes the agencies and it goes out to all the other salespeople here. It's your connection. You know, what would it look like if you had 10 very dedicated that were in on this and doing it and all got licensed and all had economic incentive to send you referrals all the time? How much other marketing and things would you have to do? Probably not a ton, okay? So I would really encourage that. And here's what I like for those of you that are good networkers, and frankly, there are several out there of you. I mean, right now, we don't really have anyone on this team, or maybe a handful, that are really big on social media or really saying, oh, I'm going to spend money on SEO marketing, or I'm going to spend money on a YouTube ad, or I'm going to be all online and all this kind of stuff. And I like that in a way. I still love that our profession and our industry is one that you can generate a lot of leads and earn a great living by networking, by just relationships with people. That's the reality. And frankly, if I look at my own career and where a lot of our successes lied out of all the things we've done, direct mail and SEO and online and blah, 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 and I'm doing YouTube ads right now. Now I'm doing it more for recruiting, but I'm doing YouTube ads right now. So it's not that I don't believe in this stuff. I do. I think there's a place for all of it. But my greatest successes come from networking, hands down. And the other nice thing about that is it doesn't take you any money. It doesn't cost you anything. You know, you don't have to spend, you know, I very rarely have I ever come to any of you and said, you know what, you need to start being ready to budget like $200 to $500 a month marketing for your own costs to generate leads. There's a lot of businesses you can't make money, frankly, without spending money on marketing, okay? So that's a pretty cool thing. So I really encourage you guys to look at that, think about it. How could you put it out there? How could you market it, quote unquote, whether that's text messages, emails, Facebook, word of mouth, etc. And again, the idea is anyone that can really be tied to a center of influence. Obvious ones, realtor and mortgage broker. We just had a realtor come on the other week that's in licensing right now that loves this idea. And again, if you think about it, you've got interests aligned because the reality is most realtors, mortgage people are probably already referring business somewhere right now. They're probably already having clients say, hey, I'm under contract to buy a home. You're my mortgage broker and helping me with my mortgage. I've got a closing coming up. I need insurance. Who do you recommend? Right? And I guarantee you, because I know the marketplace well, I know a lot of the top agents and owners out there, I don't know anyone doing this. Anyone, period, in the entire country. Some people think I'm crazy. I'm okay with that. Some people think I'm giving away too much. I'm okay with that. Again, I had a boss one time said, we'll see you at the finish line. Okay? So take advantage of that. Okay? That's, again, in my opinion, a great one. And it's an easy foot in the door. And it's also an easy way. Oh, by the way, here's what I also want you to think about. It's also an easy foot in the door just to talk to some of these centers of influence, even if they don't want to do it. I'm not so naive to think, oh, every realtor, every mortgage broker you talk to is going to fall at the feet of you and say, well, thank you, Jimmy Nazaro, for presenting me this idea, and I'm going to go get my license. They may not. They may say, you know what, I'm good. I don't want my license. I don't need the money. Great. Well, you know what? Here's all the other reasons why I'd love for you to consider doing work with me, right? Your personal why. We talk about this extensively. We go into the YSIS. These are things you can always go to at the company level, and then certainly tie them into you. And we still have a gift card program. Again, we've got a gift card program where, okay, we can at least send them a gift card, right? $25 gift card. And I've got a system in place now where we can do that and do that very consistently, okay? Now, the gift cards come from me. I pay that, not you, okay? Professional sellers, if they do the commission option, that definitely comes from you. But my point is, it's going to open up some conversations and some doors for you if you do it and you do it consistently. So as we talk and we kind of wrap up in the next few minutes, you know, part of your action statement to get you to your definite major purpose may say, I'm going to contact 10 centers of influence every day for the next 30 days, day in and day out, day in and day out. Think about that. What would that look like if you just did that? 10 a day, okay? And let's say nights, weekends, every day, right? Or if you said, well, I'm going to do 5 days a week, but I'm going to do 15 with the idea that you want 300 contacts by the end of the month. And a contact we would define as an actual conversation. You know, it's not, oh, I just left them a message, or I just sent them an email and never heard. No, it would be the continued follow-up to at least engage in some level of a conversation, okay? What would that look like if you did that just in 1 month and you had 300 contacts? And what if, let's just get crazy here, and let's say 10% said, yeah, that sounds great, I'm really interested. It could be potentially 30 new center of influence contacts for you right there in 1 month. What would that look like to your income in, let's say, 2 to 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now? That's where I want you guys going. That's where your mindset needs to be. Again, I can't do it for you. You have to do it. This is where you have to walk through the door. And by the way, this is the hardest part. I can sit here all day and hopefully you're motivated and hopefully you're like, oh man, I'm pumped up, Doug, this sounds great. Definite major purpose, I'm gonna make these contacts, I'm gonna do it. And then we're gonna get off the call and the phone's gonna ring and it's time for lunch and you know the dog needs to get walked and everything, and life happens, right? And that's really where it separates, you know, the men from the boys, the women from the girls, if you will. It is being that disciplined and diligent to do it and do it and do it and do it. When it's hard and you don't want to, and you're tired, and your tongue's hanging from the top of your mouth because you've talked so much, on and on and on. But that's where the magic happens, guys. I mean, that's the reality. You know, there's no secret, right? Part of the secret is, if you will, if there's any, is hard work. So again, we talked quite a bit about the professional sellers program. You know, I've thrown the get direct mail offer out there. Again, I'm willing to split costs up to $100. If you've never done some direct mail, give it a try. You know, think about picking a neighborhood. Think about picking an area. Maybe you've written a policy in an area. Maybe you know you're competitive. Maybe you've helped somebody with flood insurance. Maybe you've got something that's been unique. Okay, well, great. Well, you know, you can go on Property Appraiser, do a little bit of a radius search, pull some names and addresses, work on a little bit of a letter. Happy to help you guys with that, and then mail it out. Again, there's power there. We've also talked about, guys, last few things here. You know, you've got hurricane season right now, okay? And we're going to start getting more and more in the thick of it, okay? We're right in the beginning of July. We had a few in the very beginning. We really haven't seen a lot lately, but, you know, now would be a great time just to start to raise that awareness. Hey, hurricane season's here. You know, we're a month in. When was the last time you reviewed your homeowners? When was the last time you made sure you're getting the best rates and coverage? And then you can offer the Amazon gift card challenge. And again, maybe that's saying, okay, well, you know, my action plan is going to be, I'm going to contact 10 centers of influence a day for the next 30 days. I'm going to make sure I reach out to at least 5 other prospects, okay? I want to put this out here as well, and I just thought about this. And I want to show you guys this. I put this out on social media the other day on our Facebook page, and this is free, by the way, guys, okay? So this is a website called pennyapp.com. And so what this is it's a it's kind of a free resource. They have a paid version, by the way, but it's a free resource, and it kind of says hope is not a strategy, etc. And this is kind of, again, you're going to probably see some you know, some similar things on it. But what it does is it will connect directly with your Facebook and your Instagram. And it's going to give you 5 people to contact every day. And it does it on autopilot. So it's basically going to say, now I haven't done this myself for a few days, okay? But it's going to pull people that you can reach out to, right? It's just going to start going through your Facebook. And so it could be, okay, well, let's say here, you know, Linda Thurgood O'Neill. This is a lady I used to know from a networking group. Now you can click on it right here. You can go and view her profile. If you had any info in there already, you can go right to her Facebook profile. You can go right here and do a Facebook message right there. You can set either a task or a note for yourself. You can do all kinds of things, guys. Okay. Pretty easily. You can reschedule it. You can say, okay, I want to email her. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay. So again, I'm always looking for things to give you guys that are going to be valuable, hopefully. By the way, they have a nice little video in terms of Thinking Brianna onboarding. They've got, you know, like 4 or 5 videos. Okay, how to use it. You know, you can click on it and say, oh, okay, this guy's kind of walking you through. Okay, here's what you do. Here's where you click, blah, blah, blah. You know, and if they have phone numbers in here, now realize not everyone does, but the idea would be that if they have a phone number, let's say Lisa Minnelli, if she has a phone number, and you can even say, okay, when do I want to contact? Do I want to do it a week from now? I can put any notes and say, okay, call next week, whatever. And then next week, they will pop up in your file, okay? So the idea is this also becomes a little bit of an automated reminder. And oh, by the way, there's an app for it. So there's an app for your iPhone or your Android that's free, okay? My point is there's also some ways that if their phone numbers are on there, because a lot of people do have their phone numbers on Facebook, you have a way to directly call them from there to contact them, okay? Now, this is mostly done as a network marketing, you know, app, but the idea is that you could use this for your prospecting, for your direct sales. And when I say direct sales, I mean you selling them home, auto, umbrella, whatever. And or if you wanted to reach out to them and offer the opportunity to come on board your team and say, hey, we've got a great opportunity here. You can do home and auto insurance from home, remote. You can build a book of business, blah, blah, blah. We've got training support. Doug's great. He's very funny and charming and handsome and humble. Okay, that was a little joke there. But, you know, so you can do it in a variety of ways. But I would really encourage you guys to check that out. And again, you can sync it right to your Facebook, right to your Instagram. And Brianna, actually, I probably want you to, you know, put as a follow-up for us to talk about this a little bit more. Maybe we do our own video on this to kind of, you know, point people in this direction. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think it's just a nice way, guys, for some, what I would say, some prompting you for contacting and follow-up. It's going to help you with some of the activity, right? One of the thoughts we've always had is, hey, social media, great. How do I do social media? Well, you know, you can do posts and this and that. We've talked about that, and that's great. But if you wanted to take a little more of a direct approach and you wanted to follow up with some people directly, you know, by the way, you could say, okay, I'm going to pick 5 a day and I'm going to offer the Amazon gift card challenge right here, right? Hurricane season, when's the last time you reviewed, blah, 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 happy to help you, et cetera, et cetera. And again, here's what I would encourage you to think about. If you do 5 a day, you think you're going to have a few people raise their hand and be like, I am so glad you contacted me. I just got my renewal in the mail. My rate went through the roof and I never hear from my agent. I promise you that's going to happen. You're going to get some of that. I don't know whether that's going to be the first person you contact or the 50th person. But what I know is you will get some of that. All this is doing is this is giving you an app and leveraging technology to make it easier, more feasible, and scheduling it for you so that you do it. Because again, some of our greatest challenges, we can have the best of intentions, the best of ideas, but if we don't act on it, we don't get anywhere, right? So guys, with that being said, we're right at 11:30. I'm glad that we had a handful of you on the meeting. I know lots of you listen to this on demand and we get some of that feedback. Again, like I said, I always encourage you, take massive action, okay? We put out there at one point in the meeting and said, if you get me your definite major purpose by the end of tomorrow and you have 5 action steps with it, and I want to see specifics, by the way. I don't want to say, oh, I'm going to offer gift card challenge and I'm going to do penny app. No, I want to see, I'm going to do 7 contacts a day for the next 30 days with the gift card challenge. I'm going to do 10 contacts a day for the next 30 days with the Center of Influence professional sellers program. I want to see some specifics, right? It's be specific to be terrific. I want to see that, and we'll send you a $25 gift card just for having a little fun with it. So guys, I hope you have a great day. If I can help you in any way, please reach out to me. And as always, guys, dream big and make it happen. Take care.
Thanks, Doug.
You guys.